Today we are going to give away 3 tuitions to Tom Bartels' Grow Food Well training class. What a great class. This will get you growing. Hi, I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Kylene, and we are the Provident Preppers. When it comes to being self-reliant and growing your own food in sustainable ways, I love Tom Bartels' Grow Food Wells course. So we actually bought it. Like, I saw it and I started to become a real fan of his because of his growing methods. And so we purchased his course a few years ago and have implemented many of his techniques into our garden. And in fact, why don't we let Tom show you himself about what a difference his biointensive methods will make in your garden.
Hey, Tom Bartels from growfoodwell.com, and I just wanted to show you a really brief story that's quite interesting to me, that's being exhibited by this corn in front of me that represents just about any vegetable you might want to grow at home. Now, this is Hopi blue corn. I planted this with last year's seed, as I do every year, and it's a really favorite flower corn that I grow because it's a really robust grower here in the Southwest. But this particular bed was new last year. I just started it with sterile soil. I added my compost and got it working, but this is the second year of growth on this bed, so it's just starting out, and sometimes that takes a while. And this corn, if you go by the old Farmer's Almanac saying, which is knee-high by the 4th of July, is doing okay because it was about thigh-high on the 4th of July, and this is about 10 days later. So it's doing okay. It's not quite as dark green as I'd like to see, so the pigment is a little bit light, which tells me it's not getting maybe enough nitrogen. It's also getting some insect damage on some of the leaves, so it's exhibiting some insect pressure on the leaves, and the plant's trying to deal with that. Now here's the kicker. I'd like to compare this bed to another bed, identical size, but in a different area of the yard that I planted the same day. It has the same solar exposure and it's on the same irrigation regimen, so it gets the same timing of watering each day. But there's one key difference. So really quick, let's check out the difference in growth between this bed of corn and the one that's in the older bed in the backyard. So obviously this bed is doing quite a bit better. Now this is the same corn variety planted the same exact day. This particular bed was closer to rib high on the 4th of July, and here it is 10 days later. It's growing like gangbusters, and the only reason is the soil. This particular bed is in an area of the garden I've been growing in for over 20 years, so it has a fully developed soil food web. For the past 17 years or so, I've been getting this kind of growth out of these beds, just using some basic organic methods. And all it does is get the soil food web, the microorganisms in the soil, to the point of full diversity with enough mature compost in there so that the microorganisms can do the nutrient processing for the plants to get whatever they need to get to their full genetic potential. And in this case, you're giving this plant all the chemicals it needs to produce to ward off disease and insects as well. There are no insects hitting on these plants, so I'm getting no pressure from insects, which makes my job that much easier. The plants can grow themselves and they need less intervention from you. Now, I don't use any liquid fertilizer in this bed. The only reason these are growing so much faster is because of the diversity in the microorganisms in the soil food web of this bed. And that's the final result you're looking for any kind of garden vegetables, whether it be tomatoes or greens or potatoes, or in this case, corn. And this is the set of conditions that I show all of my students how to achieve in their own garden beds. It's the main focus of the workshops, to create the conditions in your garden soil that allow any plants to achieve their genetic potential. When they have the nutrients they need, they can feed themselves from the soil food web. They'll have more strength to fight off insects and disease, and it just makes your job that much easier. So if you want to learn more about how to create these conditions in your own home garden with a step-by-step program, there should be a link here on the page, so you can find more information on the garden workshops with that link. Come on in and check it out. I'll see you on the inside.
Isn't that amazing? If you're interested in Tom's class, look in the description of this video for a link. Now, normally his class runs $197, but for our video and for our audience, he is offering that class for $97. So check out the link.
And for me, paying that $100 was absolutely worth it. But Tom has agreed to give 3 of our viewers free tuition to his Grow Food Well course. So in order to enter, what you need to do is you've got to be a subscriber to our YouTube channel, and then comment in the comment section of this video and say, I would love a free tuition to Tom's gardening class. And that way we will go through those, and we're going to draw somebody, and we'll draw 3 people.
Yep,
Now, if you want bonus entries, all you have to do is go onto our Facebook or our Instagram or Pinterest or something and like or share this video with somebody. But then you have to come back to the comment section of this video and tell us that you liked it on Facebook, or that you shared this video, or whatever you did, and that's the way that you get credit for it. I am a huge fan of Tom Bartels and his gardening methods because it's so sustainable, right? And it allows you to produce a lot of food for your family in a very small place.
Thanks, Tom, for your generosity.
Yes.
And thanks to all of you for being part of the solution.
Now enter! What are you waiting for?